And here we are in part 2 of our series, bringing the Sun Temple into the MOOS template. In this video, I'm going to describe basically the restructuring process I'm going to go through. Again, before you do anything, make sure that your project launches okay. It does everything you want, that all the functionality essentially that you're looking for is going to move over, because you have to have a starting point. Let me hit escape here. And let me start the process of getting this an appropriate structure. The first thing I'm going to do is get the folder structure in place that the template expects, that and when it's packed, MOOS itself will expect, so it can find all your assets. So my first step is going to be probably to create a maps folder. So I'm going to go here to new folder, maps, and whoops, and here you see a problem. I already have a maps folder at the root level. This is one of the things that's going to happen to you when you go ahead and create these things. It's kind of a problem, but we got a way around it. Let me show you what I did here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and create a new folder, because I can move stuff around. It's not a problem. I'm going to create a new folder for Ori's map. Did I do it? Or it's Ori maps. I gotta be consistent. I do this all the time. Ori maps. All right. And then I can go ahead and I can take this maps folder that's here, and I can take him. I'm gonna go do a move to get it under Ori maps and say move here. And it's gonna be my first step. Because again, sometimes it's not gonna let you put two folders with the same name. So now Ori map, the map that actually contains our Sun Temple is here. That means that this is actually garbage, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. That means I should be able to now go ahead and create this maps folder, which I'll do. And then I'm gonna move Ori maps under maps, move here. And one thing I'm going to recommend you do quite often when you're moving stuff around, because these maps can sometimes get broken and strange stuff can happen, so you want to be careful, is go to the content and go up here to, oh, not content. Go under content, right click it, right click it, or I should say left click it, or right click it, okay. And I want to click on the Fix Up Redirectors and folder. That just makes sure that everything is pointing to where it belongs. As you move stuff, it'll create what it calls redirectors, so the project still works, but you don't want the redirectors to exist any longer than they have to. You want the assets to not have to rely on the redirectors and actually point to where everything is at in your system. So at this point, what have I got? I've got maps, Ori maps, maps, and it just happens to have, by the way, the Sun Temple. Probably a good idea at this point to make sure everything still runs, because you just move some stuff around, and it looks like we're all good. So I'm going to hit escape, and we're good now. I have two other things that are included in this under Ori maps. Alright, maps. So I'm gonna rename this one actually, remember? Because in essence, we're supposed to use the name of our level. That's just a convention thing. So I'm gonna do, let me see where I'm at here. I want to, where is it? Rename. I want to rename this to Sun Temple. And again, it's got to go through and make sure all the names and linkages and all this stuff all work as expected. So it's under Sun Temple. What I need to do now is I've got to get these two folders down into and under Sun Temple. So I'm going to do that now. So I will copy the assets folder. I will move it, not copy. You could make a copy. We don't want to copy in this case. And something interesting is going to potentially happen here. Sometimes the folder will stick around, and I'll show you that. It may happen in this case, or it may not. Let me look under Sun Temple, and oh, there's the assets folder. Let me look in the assets folder. There's the blueprint, the materials. That's all the stuff I would expect, right? That seems good. But what's this up here? I got assets. I look in blueprint. Oh, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Sometimes the folders and other things remain in place. If you were to try to delete this right now, it probably would not let you. What you need to do to make that deletable now is to go to content, and let's just make sure that the redirectors are gone. Because guess what? The assets folder and those subfolders are loaded with redirectors right now. So we need to say, hey, nope, they got to go away. So at this point, they should be gone. This should allow me to now delete the assets folder, or not. All right, it's gonna make me delete the folder one by one. All right, come on, let me do it. It's gonna make a liar of me, you know it. Unless the redirectors aren't done yet. So I am going to, oh, let me do a save all. Sometimes that'll release things. All right. My delete is still being blocked. Sometimes I have to reload the project. But we gotta get that point. Again, it won't break anything. There's nothing there. But this is one of the fickle things that can happen. One of the nice things I can do is when I do import and export, I can just say, hey, there's nothing there anyway. So I'm gonna move blueprints. And again, I'm trying to give you all the gotchas and all the stuff that I run into, because as you're importing maps, Unreal doesn't always behave as we would like it to, as we expect it to. And one move, again, I look in here, there's nothing there. I look in this folder. Where'd it go? Oh, it moved blueprints there. I'm gonna move it up to Sun Temple, just because I want to be consistent. And again, it's leaving some leftovers. Again, nothing in here. But here I'm looking at my Sun Temple, and there's blueprints here, and there are the blueprints right there. So I'm going to go through, and I'm going to make sure that it actually does fix up all the redirectors. And hopefully I'll be able to get rid of some of these that are in my way. Yep, it's going to let me delete this one. So I got that fixed. Let me see if I can do this one yet. Yep, sometimes it's fickle. I'm just warning you. Sometimes you have to go through this. Just be careful you don't delete your real assets. You're deleting the empty folders, which should be empty at this point because all the redirectors should have been removed. And let me see if I can get rid of this. I can. All right. So, did I do this wrong? All the blueprints? My blueprints are there. My assets are all there. And now that I've got everything out of the subfolders, I should be able to clean that out and clean this off. So, do I look like I'm appropriately structured for MOOS? I've got content, I've got maps, I've got my worry maps, I've got the Sun Temple, I have the assets, I have the materials for the assets, the message for the assets, the textures, the blueprint is still there. They're all good. So again, once you've done that, make sure we do a save, make sure everything's good, and play test it. Make sure it still plays the way it originally did with all of the stuff we moved around, because you don't want to find out that doesn't work after you migrated it to the template. Speaking of migration, we are ready for migration. At this point, let me hit escape. There's a couple of ways I can migrate things. I will probably migrate a template like this using this method, where I will say, just grab everything. Of course, I got to save sometimes. Just grab everything. You know, just tell it to grab everything. Will not tell it to grab MDL because I just don't need it. I've already got MDL from the template, so I will tell it not to do that. That just says get everything. Just get everything. Why might you want to get everything? Well, you might want to get everything because there may be assets in the folder that aren't used in the map, and you want to have those as tools you can use. Again, that's one method. Another method I could use, and I'll show you this. I'm going to go into Sun Temple. I'm going to look at my map, and I'm going to say Asset Actions, Migrate. And again, you see this whole same listed structure. Everything's all there. But notice you do not see MDL because MDL is not referenced at all by the map. But here's the thing about this. If you had, let's say, a whole list of assets that were not in this map yet, they will not be used in the migrate. This will migrate the existing map and only the assets that it uses. So you either take the content type migration and do a little house cleaning about what moves, or if you know your map uses everything, well, that might be the way to go. But since we're looking to do editing, we want to make sure we have everything. So this is probably going to be your preferred way. So again, I'll go over that more in the next section when we actually migrate items to MOOS. I only showed you the migrate to this point because it allows you to verify that you pretty much have everything in the right structure. You want to make sure you do that before we get to part 3, migrating assets to the template, coming up next. Here we go.